If you've seen my first video in this series on liminal dreaming and the art of using your dreams for self-care and personal development, then you may be wondering how you can get started with the liminal dreaming practice. So in this video, I'm going to be introducing you to the practice of Yoga Nidra, also called yogic sleep, psychic sleep, or even non-sleep deep rest in the Western scientific and academic communities. I'm going to talk to you about the practice of Yoga Nidra, show you how it is linked to liminal dreaming. We may even talk a little bit about lucid dreaming, and I'm going to show you how you can get started in this practice today. There will be timestamps in this video to help you better navigate your experience. My name is Aaron. I am a certified life coach and I specialize in metaphysical techniques like lucid dreaming, liminal dreaming, yoga nidra for self-care and personal development. Be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to have some next steps as well as more suggestions for you. If you actually haven't seen my first video in this series on the practice of liminal dreaming, I'm going to link it up here, but let's do a quick review. Liminal dreaming, or the liminal state, is right between waking and sleeping. So you have this on both ends when you're falling to sleep, hypnagogia, and when you're waking up, hypnopompia. Both of these states are very dreamy, they are very hypnotic. You have a combination of what you experience in the waking reality as well as what you experience in the dreaming reality. So you'll find a lot of hallucinations taking place. Most of the time you slip through these periods so quickly that you may really not be aware of what is going on, but learning to access and maintain consciousness in the liminal states is going to help you boost your creativity. It can become a spiritual practice for you if you'd like. It helps you discover answers to problems because your mind operates in a very non-linear way, which is different than what you experience in the waking state and in the dreaming state. Insights and messages and downloads can come to you through a different means of mental workings and mental processes. So you're more likely to come up with ideas and find out information that wouldn't be readily accessible to you in other states of consciousness. But let's talk about Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is also called yogic sleep or psychic sleep, or in the Western scientific and academic communities, you will hear it called non-sleep deep rest. This practice is about consciously accessing this liminal state. So it is a meditative practice that you do. You lay down as if you're sleeping. You're going to lay on your back in the Shavasana pose. This is what is most traditional, but you will find a lot of practitioners and a lot of teachers these days directing you to find a position that feels comfortable for you. So of course you already know I'm going to tell you the same, to experiment around and figure out which way works best for you. But this is a meditative practice that you do. You lay down, you close your eyes, and you are putting different levels and layers of the body to sleep. You're doing this while maintaining consciousness. So typically when we say relax or rest, for us this also has an association of losing consciousness and losing awareness. In the practice of Yoga Nidra, you're actually doing the opposite. You're deepening your state of consciousness, deepening your awareness of being aware while allowing the body and its many layers to fall asleep. This is going to allow you to access the liminal state. So you're laying down and you're consciously entering into hypnagogia. Now, when it comes to Yoga Nidra, you are consciously entering this delta brainwave state, which is the state of consciousness that correlates to deep, dreamless sleep. This is important because in the deep, dreamless sleep state, this is when your body is going through a period of healing, of metamorphosis, of transformation. Your skin cells are shedding and regrowing. The same thing with your hair cells and your inner organs. There are all types of hormones and neurotransmitters that are being emitted into the body during this period. Human growth hormone. This is when short-term memories are also turned into long-term memories. So by consciously accessing this state, you are allowing the body to fall asleep, but the energy that would normally be consumed on processes like thinking, ruminating, obsessing, moving around, going through your day-to-day actions, this energy is now freed up, which allows it to be used for conscious rest, rejuvenation, restoration, rebalancing. There's even a part of the Yoga Nidra practice called the sankalpa, and the sankalpa is a strong statement of intention or desire that you use inside of the Yoga Nidra practice, and this helps to shift unconscious thoughts and beliefs so that with proper nurturing, you will see a shift, a change, a transformation in your external life. If you are someone who is interested in beginning a Yoga Nidra practice, I would suggest starting by first creating your sankalpa. Once again, that sankalpa is that strong statement of intention or desire. And this is going to help motivate you, and it is going to give you something to really use the practice for. And of course, I have a free Create Your Own Sankalpa guide that has journaling activities for you, along with self-discovery questions that will guide you through a process of creating a personalized Sankalpa just for you. And it has links to free guided Yoga Nidra practices, so that way you can begin engaging with this practice and this technique today, and even use it to enter your liminal dreaming process. I will include the link to that Create Your Own Sankalpa guide in the description box below. So I want to talk about really using Yoga Nidra to access and enter the liminal dreaming state, and what your specific intention is going to be if this is what your goal is. I would first start by learning about the practice of Yoga Nidra, and I would suggest creating that Sankalpa and select maybe just one guided Yoga Nidra practice that you want to engage in. So if you get the Create Your Own Sankalpa guide, there will be a number of them in there, but you can also search around on YouTube. I am going to be posting guided Yoga Nidras here on HIYERDreaming, as well as on my other channel, Higher Alignment. But I would suggest to you that you pick one practice and engage with it for at least 30 to 40 days. This is going to give you time to understand the practice, to integrate it, and to move beyond the portion where you're falling asleep. So in liminal dreaming, as well as in Yoga Nidra, these are practices that you do on the borders of waking and sleeping. So before you find out how to maintain that balance and how to surf the edges of consciousness, you're going to find that you're going to fall asleep sometimes. And that's a part of the practice. It helps you once again to rest and rejuvenate and restore your body and your body's energies, which is important. Until that happens, you're not going to have the energy available to not fall asleep. So this is a part of the process. So learning how to not fall asleep, and over time, you're going to hear more and more and more of the actual guided practice. So once you're able to make it all the way through, fully conscious, fully aware, while relaxing as deeply as possible and not falling asleep, I would then go ahead and move into sometimes using the guided Yoga Nidra practice, and sometimes laying down and engaging in Yoga Nidra or liminal dreaming without the guidance. Learning how to lay down and consciously, intentionally enter this liminal state. Then you will be able to do that in the afternoon for an afternoon nap that you're using to boost your creativity, like the examples of Salvador Dali that I gave you in the first video. You will be able to use it before you go to bed as you're falling asleep. Perhaps if you are just interested in entering and capitalizing on this natural liminal state, you'll be able to use it as you're waking up. That way you can enter into the hypnopompic state. And remember, I told you the hypnopompic state is in many ancient cultures and ancient traditions said to be this state where you receive messages from the divine, or you make contact with other non-human intelligences. So there is a very mystical component or aspect of the hypnopompic state. So your next steps are going to be to grab the free Create Your Own Sankalpa guide, to go back and watch the first video in this series on what is liminal dreaming and surfing the edges between waking and sleeping consciousness. That way you have all of the information that you need about liminal dreaming. Perhaps checking out a Yoga Nidra video or two, either here on Higher Dreaming or on my other channel, Higher Alignment. I'm gonna put all of the links to the resources that I talked about in this video in the description box below, so you can go ahead and check those out. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. And in the meantime, in between time, here are 2 more that YouTube thinks that you would enjoy.